Shalom, giving all praise to Yahawah, Sham, Qadash, Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. Starting with the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there, the hopeful elect, giving all praise to Yahawah, Sham, Qadash. And so I'm back with this Jeremiah chapter 50 in the NLT, the New Living Translation, because it sounds this breakdown sounds a little bit different. They take out the fees and the thous and so forth. And the last verse I ended on the 20th verse and the 21st verse. Let's see if we can tackle the rest of it. It's 46 verses altogether. So from the first verse up until the 20th verse, when it speaks about Babylon, you can clearly see that it has nothing to do with ancient Babylon. During the time of Daniel and Jeremiah and these various prophets, you had prophets in certain times of prophecy. You had more than one prophet that was there that worked, seen each other. One prophet could have been older, another prophet could have been young. When Jeremiah came on the scene, he was an actual boy. He was a pre-pubescent, he hadn't become a man. He was a boy. He might have been 10, 11 years old. The scriptures doesn't tell you that though, but he was not a full-grown man. Anyway, so you had some prophets that were up in age and some prophets that were younger. So, but you had certain times in history where you had the prophets that knew other prophets. Just like today, all the prophets are back. I can pretty much say, except for the ones that are in the spiritual realm, but I can pretty much say when you run into certain brothers in the main camp and other state camps, GMS, and then I'm also going to add in the other Israelite groups out there that are truly sincere, then they may very well be the prophets. So you don't know. You could be talking to a brother that you're cool with, not realizing that you're talking to the prophet Isaiah or the prophet Ezekiel, or the prophet Obadiah, or whatever the case may be. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. And see, we're in the time now. We have less than 6 months: August, September, October, November, December, January. September, October, November, December, January. Come September, we will have 4 months before the new year. So everything's speeding up. So this is the time to be on fire and to do as many videos as you can. We're in the home stretch of this thing. Any of you guys that like you just cruising, you're gonna get the Most High gonna put you out. He's gonna put you out, or we're gonna find you out, and we're gonna put you out. You get suspended. You better be on fire. Certain guys I've been noticing, on Saturdays, certain guys won't be showing up. They'll show up 1 week and then the next week they're not there. Well, if you have a valid excuse that you got to work or whatever the case may be, you better be doing videos at home. You better go out on another day. You might be off on Sunday. Guess what? Dedicate an hour and change to going out there anywhere, to a park, wherever, in front of a building, in the middle of Times Square, wherever. If you can get with another brother or a couple other brothers that's willing to do it. You had some of the brothers in the main camp, they were going out on Thursday. I don't know if they still go out, but they would go out on Thursdays. It would be about 4 or 5 of them. Some of the more, let's say, seasoned brothers that's under the apostles and bishop elders. So we never told them to go out, but they went out through the Spirit. So you guys that are like your hands in the pocket, you come out 1 week, you're the Spirit, you're really lukewarm. If not lukewarm, you're cold. You're definitely not hot. You're not hot at all. So what did the Most High say? He's gonna spew you out of, like if you eat something and there's a bad, funny taste in it, and you might have had some orange juice, right? and some water, right? And you pick up the water, or you pick up the orange juice thinking it's water, because your mind is ready for the water, and then it's orange, it's like a funny taste. You spit it out, you realize, oh, I picked up the wrong thing. You know? Or you eating some fries and there's a fry that tastes funny and you spit it out. So that's what the Most High will do. Your bad taste to his mouth. So the scriptures say, let every man work out his own soul salvation, fear and trembling. So this is on, not because your buddy, your best friend came in the truth with you, he's on fire and you ain't, you're gonna be pushed out. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. And we're gonna put the squeeze on y'all, man. Because we gotta help get rid of y'all guys that ain't right. This is, at the end of the day, it's only about the elect. Starting with the 144,000. Anyway, I was watching a video that's live right now, put up by Apostle Ariam Lab. And it was kind of 15, 16 minutes in, so I went to the back to kind of find out what he's talking about. He was talking about IUIC, that the General Netanyahu guy, he didn't come out and say it, but it seemed like he was saying that the nations could be saved. And he said, if that's not the case, just let me know and I'll apologize. Same here. I hope he's not going to teach that. Because if he does teach that, I don't care if he teaches it or he doesn't. My thing is, what's going to be the reaction of his congregation? That's the main thing. Because if he says that and they go with it, that's it. Oh, they got him. So I hope he's not teaching that. So let's go ahead and start from the 21st verse. Go up, my warriors. This is the NLT, against the land of Marathiam and against the people of Peacock. Pursue, kill, and completely destroy them, as I have commanded you, saith the Lord. Let the battle cry be heard in the land, a shout of great destruction. Now we know this is talking about, they're using the term Babylon, Peacock, Marathiam. They're using these different terms. And then you go read about the scholars, what the scholars got to say. They'll say, well, there was an incident that happened. This is all talking about Babylon, the great city, the Yahuwah, the US, America, whatever you want to call it, the land of Edom. So it's written in a parabolic form. And we were given the cheat codes. That's why these scholars are not going to, none of these scholars are going to say, well, Babylon is talking about America. They're not going to say it. They said, let the battle cry be heard in the land, a shout of great destruction. The great destruction is when this place is going to be utterly destroyed. Babylon, which we know who Babylon is, the mightiest hammer in all the earth. Now, was ancient Babylon the mightiest hammer in all the earth? No, it was not. Lies broken and shattered. Babylon is desolate. The word desolate, you get the word desert, among the nations. So the whole nations, this is going to be the biggest desert on the planet Earth. All the nations are going to, you know about the Sahara, the Mojave, you know about landmarks and stuff, and they'll speak about the biggest desert out there. Well, the biggest desert by far will be Babylon the Great. After the fire, the smoke is cleared. Listen, Babylon, for I have set a trap for you. And that trap is dealing with the situation in the Ukraine with the Russians. You are caught, for you have fought against Yahawah. When you come against us, the servants of the Lord, you come against, we are employed by the Most High. So you come against us, you're coming against the boss. Yahawah has opened his armory. In this case, it's talking about the ICBM missiles, the Satan 1, Satan 2, Moab 1 and Moab 2, the hypersonic missile, which cannot be detected by radar. That's why the scriptures speak about a thief in the night. And brought out weapons to vent his fury. What does it mean to vent his fury? You get mad at somebody and you see this guy that owe you money, and you might just punch him in the face because you had to vent your fury because you was mad at your girl. The terror that falls upon the Babylonians will be the work of the sovereign Yahawah of heaven's armies. And he has more than one army. He has the army of Israel. He has Esau because he controls Esau. The Russian army, the Most High controls that. The Korean and North Koreans, he controls that. The people of Iran, the people of Iraq, the African nations, anyone that fights in wars, that's the Most High's army. It says, yes, come against her from distant lands. So it's not just going to be coming from Russia, it's going to be coming from other lands. Break open her, what is this? Granarize, whatever the hell that means. Crush her walls and houses into heaps of rubble. That never happened in ancient Babylon. Destroy her completely and leave nothing. You're not, you know, like Esau says, we're on a research and what is it? Was it research, searching a search mission? Then there's that you know that everybody's dead, so it's a recovery. You ain't gonna be able to recover anything. It's gonna be a desert. Anybody left on here on this soil called America will be a part of that desert, the desert of men. Destroy even her young bulls. The young bulls represent the people because they're going to be sacrificed. Isaiah 34. It will be terrible for them to slaughter them all, for Babylon's day of reckoning has come. Listen to the people who have escaped from Babylon as they tell in Jerusalem, because we're going to escape out of Babylon, the elect, Psalm 144, how Yahawah, our power, has taken vengeance against those who destroyed his temple. Who is the Most High's temple? The Israelites. The temple is a people before it's a place. 29th verse. Send out a call for archers, that's talking about the missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to come to Babylon, surround the city. Now, what does it mean to surround the city? It means the missiles are going to be coming from all sides. The city soon, surround the city so none can escape. Do to her as she have done to others. For she has defiled Yahawah, the Holy One of Yasharahla. Her young men will fall in the streets and die. Her soldiers will all be killed, but a lot of them are going to be killed in the Middle East, saith Yahawah. Joel 2. See, and you can put them precepts in. We're not going to go to every precept that I mentioned or quote, so you can put it in the comment section. And I'm going to say this again, you guys that come into this thing and you don't know what's going on, you're trying to make heads or tails of this whole Israel thing, and if you do go up and teach, you kind of regurgitating what you learned from the videos or whatever, and you really ain't in this is not in your heart and soul, then you're not one of his. Sergeant Bond said in the movie Platoon, he said, I want every swinging blank in the field. I mean, I want you out there fighting. So we're supposed to be fighting, but this is a spiritual war. It's not a carnal war. See, I am your enemy. You arrogant people, you proud people. Obadiah 1 says Yahawah, the Lord, the power of heaven's armies, because the missiles are going to come from the heavens, it's going to go up, then it's going to come back down. Your day of reckoning has arrived, the day when I will punish you. O land of arrogance, proud arrogance, you will stumble and fall, and no one will rise you up. I will light a fire, and I'm gonna put a fire up on your ass in the cities of Babylon, because Babylon, the great city, is cut up into subdivisions, other cities, right? Other states and other cities. Within a large country, you have states. Within the states, you have cities. That will burn up everything around them. As you can see, this is a very simple breakdown. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm on a cleanse, so I got day number 3. It got me going to the bathroom, pushing a lot of stuff out of my digestive system, my colon. It says 33rd verse. This is what Yahawah of heaven's army says. The people of Israel and Judah have been wronged, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, and they're going to come together. Their captors right now is Esau, hold them and refuse to let them go. What does that mean? He refuses to tell them who they are. The elite knows who we are, but they're not. See, Jake bucks up against what we're saying because we're saying if Esau was to have breaking news and say we found out, we're going to tell the truth, that they had the 12 tribes sign, and they're saying these are the Israelites. You're going to have professors. Then Jacob believe it. That's the only time Jacob believe it, when Esau says it. I remember we used to speak on 34th Street. If we didn't have no crowd, if an Edomite came up and started talking to us, then all of a sudden Jake will come. So Jake marches to the beat of the Edomite. So it's good that Esau is not telling you, so the Most High can condemn you. It said, but the one who redeems, buy back them is strong. Deuteronomy 28:68, and no man shall buy you. The word in the Hebrew translates into the word redeem, to buy you back. It says, but the one who redeems them is strong. His name is Yahawah of heaven's army, or Yahawah of hosts. He will defend them. That's starting with the 144,000, the elect right behind them, and give them rest again in what? Yasha'Allah, the land of Israel. So that's when we're going to get our rest, Isaiah 14. But for the people of Babylon, there will be no rest. The sword, the sword of destruction will strike the Babylonians. That's the missiles, says the Lord. Now, I put up a video and made a video on brothers that were in GMS that have left from Chicago. I'm talking about the Chicago crew. Nazariah, I believe his name was Yashawan. If it's not Yashawan, I believe it was Yashawan. And they did a video that I found on Vocab Malone's page, which was put up, I think it was 2 years ago. And the Nazariah, he said, he was the main speaker. He said, fuck GMS, fuck GMS. He said, there ain't no missiles, and the missiles are not in the scripture. That's not taught. There's no scripture that speaks about the missiles. And Yashawan, if his name is Yashawan, beautiful brother, I met him, beautiful brother. He said, and there ain't no UFOs either. So you can watch the video. You got to go back maybe a week back. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description box, but you can find it. But they said it. So they accepted the fact that, we say, when we go into the scriptures and we say it's talking about the missiles, they accepted that. We went into the scriptures on the UFOs, they accepted that. But when they left, the Most High took it back from them. That's in Matthew chapter 13, verse 12 on down. That's also the old wine bottles. Can't put new wine in old wine bottles. So there you go. 35th verse. The sword, which is the missiles of destruction, will strike. Now, when they say, when the missiles hit, they'll say we have initiated our first strike missiles. Because what do missiles do? When does missiles cause damage? When it strikes. The missiles, the ICBMs are broken up into two components: the delivery system, and which brings it from one continent to the next continent. It could be 5,000 miles away. And I believe it says the missiles can go 5,000 miles, 6,000 miles. I did in a previous video, maybe a year or two ago, and I measured Russia to the US. I went into the middle of Russia. Well, I believe it was Petersburg, Russia, but it was somewhere smack dab in the middle of Russia to smack dab to the middle of US. And it's about 5,500 to 6,000 miles. So now the Russians can shoot missiles from the West Coast and from the East Coast. So the missiles will be coming from certain different angles. And I read that. Let me see if I can find it. I think the word is circle. Bear me for a minute. That's not it. That's not the word I'm looking for. I thought the word was circle. I can't find it. If anybody remembers, you can just put it up there. thought the word was circle. It's 35th verse again. So we got 11 verses. The sword of destruction will strike the Babylonians, saith Yahawah. It will strike the people of Babylon, her officials and wise men too. Now you got the super rich that's going to escape this. The scriptures speak about that. How they're going to escape this destruction. But then they're going right into captivity because we're going to hunt them down and we're going to find them. If you go out to outer space, we're going to get you in outer space. You ain't going to be in outer space. Revelation 12 speaks about there was no place found in heaven. In other words, you ain't going to be in heaven. You ain't going to be on the satellites. It says the sword will strike her wise counselors and they will become fools. And they're fools right now. The sword will strike her mightiest warriors and panic will seize them. So they're going to bitch up. They have become like women. The sword, the missiles, the ICBM will strike her horses and chariots, her planes, her trains, her cars, her military might, and her allies, the other nations from other lands, and they will all become like women. They're going to bitch up. It didn't say they will become women. It said they will become like women. They're going to bitch up. They're going to bitch up. So in my last video, let me see if I can bring this up. Where the hell? Okay, right here. So, like I said in my previous video, I made a short one. He was it was about around about maybe the 20 some odd roundabout here. But you watch the whole video, he was speaking about how the Russian military is battle hardened. And he said, what makes you battle hardened is every time you turn around, you in a war. You know, when you have children, your sons, you teach your sons war because they know when they hit a certain age, they're going to fight in a battle. So they become experts in war. They're battle tested and battle hardened. The thing about the U.S. troops, they're not battle tested or battle hardened. They are training, but training is one thing. War games is one thing. And actually having projectiles shot at your ass is a completely different thing because you know you can die. So the Gog, the troops of Gog and Gog, they're bloodthirsty, man. The scriptures in Ezekiel 35 says, "Thou hateth not blood, so blood shall pursue thee." Meaning, you love blood. You love to take down a weaker individual because you have the power to do so. But you're going to go hand in hand. What nations said they have become weak as we, because the great equalizer is the missiles. It's all about the missiles, baby. It's all about the missiles. Give me a second. Important call. It said the sword. Wait a minute. It's Wednesday. Okay, the sword will strike her horses and chariots and her allies from other lands, and they will all become like women. The sword will strike her treasures, and they all will be plundered, utterly destroyed. The sword will even strike her water supply. Now, when you go to Revelation chapter 8, that's what that's talking about. It says causing it to dry up. And why? Because the whole land is filled with idols, and the people are madly in love with them. Yeah, because at one time you had a thing called the blue laws. Everything was closed on a Sunday. That was their Sabbath. They don't have no blue laws. Everything's open. So they totally defied the Most High. It says, soon Babylon will be inhabited by desert animals and hyenas. It will does it like creatures. This goes hand in hand with Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34. It will be a home of owls. Never again will people live there. That people went to the Medo-Persian Empire made Babylon a province, so there were people still living in Babylon. It will lie desolate forever. I will destroy it as destroyed Sodom, as I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's the key. This place was not destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. I want to try something. We almost finished. Bear me for a minute. Let's hope this computer don't act up. Come back over here. I'll destroy it as I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And that did not happen to ancient Babylon. And their neighboring towns, says Yahawah, no one will live there. I'm sorry. No one will inhabit it. As a matter of fact, let me do it this way. Bear me for a minute. Almost out of here. By 40. 40. Bear me for a minute. Should be coming up. Let me do this here. Come back over here. See, his computer's acting up. I might have to stop this show and come back another time because his computer's acting up. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and neighboring cities thereof. You see, they're not going to say a lot. Well, they mentioned Jeremiah 49:18. Let's see what that says. It doesn't say anything. If you notice, these commentators always got a lot to say. They ain't saying too much. They ain't saying too much. Because if they were honest with themselves, they would say, this ain't talking about ancient Babylon, it's talking about another Babylon. Where Cambridge at? They ain't saying too much. Because they know. They have to know. Do you think if they knew, they're going to tell you? Hell no. So that's all I wanted. It says, look, 41, look, a great army, that's the missiles, is coming from, that's in Joel 2, from the north, uttermost north of Russia. A great nation and many kings are rising against you from far off lands. Because what does it say in Ezekiel 38? God shall be a God, the chief prince shall be a God unto them. The dark nations and those nations in that area, Iran and so forth, Persia. It mentions Persia in the scripture. So they know. It says, we almost finished. We got 4 more verses. They are armed with bows and spears. The spears are the missiles. The bows are the missile silos. They are cruel and show no mercy. That's Isaiah 13. As they ride forward on horses. The horses represent the missiles. So when you got certain camps teaching that Revelation 9, and I believe that's around the 15, 16 verse, the 200,000 are talking about angels, not talking about angels, it's not talking about the Chinese army, it's talking about the missiles. They sound like a roaring sea. They are the first thing you're going to experience is the sound of the missiles. They are coming in battle formation, planning to destroy you. Planning to destroy you, Babylon. The king of Babylon. Right now, it's old Smoky Joe. Now we don't know who's going to come in. It would be nice if Trump got in here because he can rile shit up. You know, he does things without thinking. He said the king of, he's not a diplomat. He said the king of Babylon has heard reports about the enemy. The number one enemy to them is the Russians. And he is weak with fright. So if that's Nero, then he gonna shit in his pants. Pangs of anguish have gripped him like those of a woman in labor. He gonna hold his stomach, he gonna cry. Because they figured to make America great again. It's gonna be great again. It's gonna be a great heap. I will come like a lion from the thicket of Jordan, leaping on the sheep. Now, let me read that in the King James. I believe it's the lion has come up from its thicket and the destroyer of Gentiles is on his way. Let's see if I'm correct. Jeremiah. Okay, so all right, no, I was thinking of something else. Something else. It said he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong, but I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? So it's going to the Most High, Yahawashi. Yahawashi is going to deliver us. Second in command will be the archangel Michael, Allah, who's like the Most High. Two more verses and we out of here. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahawah that he hath taken against Babylon, the U.S., and his purposes that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, another name for America. Surely the least of the flock, that was in Jeremiah 49, shall draw them out. Who's the least of the flock? Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them at the noise of the taking of Babylon. The earth is moved. The earth wasn't moved when that Darius put the order out to surgically strike the king and his lords. That was called a surgical strike. There was no damage to the cities. They didn't use bow and arrows. And the city and the cry is heard among the nations. That's of Revelation 18. The whole nation is going to see from afar. The nations are going to see from afar off. Let me try something. Let's see what comes up. If I spelled it correctly. This is what I thought about. Jeremiah 4, verse 7. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles. So anybody's talking about the Lord came for the Gentiles, he's going to destroy the Gentiles. And all is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate. That's the Lord giving the order to Yahawashi and the angels to take this place out and to deliver the 144,000 in the elect. And thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. That's also talking about Babylon being destroyed. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.